Hour number 2. That's right. All we do is have fun. We keep you entertained, informed, and anything else in between. This is hour number 2 of Laying Down the Law. We appreciate you listening. We're only going to 11 today because we've got some NFL pregame, and then the Saints are playing, and there's some Who Dat Nation in Texas as well. However, very privileged to have a friend of mine. Very interesting to note. Also, first time the Mississippi State Bulldogs are ranked number 1 in the polls, and that they're 6-0 in the Southeast Conference with a tremendous run last 3 games of Auburn, Texas A&M, and LSU. So, without further ado, I bring on a friend of mine, and he'll be a friend of the show, Coach Scott Sallach. Coach, welcome to Laying Down the Law.
Thanks for having me, Steve. I appreciate the opportunity to get on ESPN Radio and talk a little sports, talk a little ball, and catch up with you a little bit. It's been a while.
It has, and a tremendous job in the Ivy League, in particular at the alma mater, Princeton University. You have coached some of the top receivers, and now you're doing it in the Southeast Conference with your former teammate, head coach Dan Mullen, and he definitely did well in getting someone that he understood was part of a sports family on and off the field to have you be a part of now this championship-type caliber football team in the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Yeah, it was a unique opportunity that presented itself, and one, I'm certainly thankful that it came about 6 years ago, and it's been a heck of a ride to build a program like he's done it. I'm just very fortunate to be a part of it.
We've seen you and your team, Scott, play, some stand-up football against some of the best college football teams, former national champions and things of this nature. What types of things do you, as a staff, tell your players? You have talent, but what's kind of a general philosophy that y'all like to use week in and week out?
When you play in the Southeastern Conference, especially in the western half of the division, there are no easy games, and it doesn't matter what the AP or the coaches poll, if they put a number in front of your name or not, you're a talented football team, and you coach very well, and you have the opportunity to beat whoever you play on any given Saturday. So one of the things that Coach Mullen has really done a great job with the guys talking about is you have to concern yourself with becoming a better player every day. If you worry about becoming better every day, you're going to have the opportunity to achieve unbelievable things. And our guys, we have great leadership on the team with guys like Malcolm Johnson and Jay Hughes and Dak Prescott, Bernard McKinney, guys that are all in. They're looking to get better every single day. And that's how you're able to achieve certain things like that. One of the things I told my guys, sitting in the tight end room, after we won in Death Valley, after we're the third team to beat Coach over there on a Saturday night, I said, hey, if you want this to be your crowning achievement of your season, it's a great achievement, but sit back on, put your hands behind your head and say, wow, that was really cool. If you would like the opportunity to try to achieve more with your season, you better roll up your sleeves and go to work on Monday. And the type of group that we have at Mississippi State, they rolled up their sleeves and went back to work. They're very proud of the things they've achieved, but they don't want that to be the crowning moment. Hopefully we can achieve a couple more things.
We're talking with Coach Scott Sallach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, ranked number 1 in the nation. You've got a very interesting story that I saw with your signal caller, Dak Prescott, and the unfortunate loss of his mom. I'm a mama's boy. I certainly cling to her as much as possible, and I saw that story, very touching, he and his brothers. How has his leadership skills developed over this season?
I think what happens is all the guys in our program know what an unbelievable leader Dak Prescott is. He was blessed with the ability that people want to follow him. And the reason they want to follow him is because they see his work ethic, they see his character, they see his commitment to try and become a better player. And I think part of the reason that everybody else is noticing it now is the fact that he has statistical success. He was always a successful quarterback, but now he has some stats for the national people to realize it, and that's how it starts hammering home. It's just it's who he is. There's some things in life you can't fake. The ability to lead is one of those things. You can't fake that. He has that ability. Like I say, it's through his commitment to the process off the field that makes the guys follow him. I mean, shoot, I could take him down to San Antonio right now. We could go into you pick any locker room there, Steve. I get him in there. Even if they didn't know who Dak Prescott was, he'd be in there for about 15 minutes, and he'd say, "Hey, let's go do A." And you know what? That locker room would get out there and go do A with him.
Yes, he's that type of guy. He's very impressive. Let me ask you this, closer to home for us. Are you surprised of how kind of the wheels have come off for Texas A&M?
It is surprising because they're a very good football team. But I think what you see there is the challenge of the Southeastern Conference. I mean, you go back and look at what they played us when we were ranked, I think number 12. They played that other school in our state when they were ranked number 3.
Right.
And they played Alabama, and they were, number 6 or 7 or something yesterday, if I'm not mistaken?
Right.
Well, they just played 3 top 10 teams. That's hard.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so it's hard to say, I mean, I'm obviously not in there with Coach Sumlin, and, I'm not in the middle of it, but understand that they played 3 very good football teams. And when you play very good football teams, everybody wants to win, but in order to win, you have to risk losing. And that's what happened. I mean, shoot, we had a stretch last year very similar to what A&M is going through. We were on the road at South Carolina when they were top 10. We went on the road to play A&M. They were right around, I think they were in the top 10. If not, they were just out of it. And then number 1 Alabama came into town. And we came up on the short end of all 3 of those last year. So I've certainly been on that side of the track. But I think it's more the fact that they played 3 really good football teams.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sure they're all disappointed about how it worked out, but that's part of competition, unfortunately. The downside.
Right, absolutely. We're talking with Coach Scott Sallach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, ranked number 1 in the nation. Tight ends coach, good friend of mine, and I've always enjoyed, knowing what you've brought to different programs, and I'm so excited that your former teammate recognized what exploits you've done in the world of coaching. Spencer Conley with us here. Ryden wants to ask you a question, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, right. Coach, I really appreciate what you just contributed, because a lot of people don't understand that, not even just to really support where Texas A&M is, but when you're talking about playing good football teams, and as many as there are in the SEC, it's about being consistent at executing, which is what and A&M hasn't executed in none of those games. And I think that you guys are finishing plays, you're finishing games, you're strong in the fourth quarter. The execution of Mississippi State this year has been incredible, and I just commend you guys in much success. I had a great friend that played there, graduated there, Al Cotton, who passed a couple years back, and from here in San Antonio, Corey Sears came out of there and played several years in the NFL as well. I have great friends that played at that institution. Just heard great things about the community of State, and so I'm really excited and proud of what you guys are doing over there, Coach.
Well, I appreciate that. And those Bulldogs out there across the country, they know what a special place Starkville, Mississippi is, and it's a very unique place because you get around and you see the fans. I mean, there's probably, even before we had this success, probably 2/3 to 3/4 of the houses in Starkville has some sort of Mississippi State logo, a Bulldog, some maroon flag hanging out. The people that are Bulldog fans, they are what we refer to as true maroon. They bleed maroon. They can't wait, whether it's football season, baseball season, basketball season. It's a very a very special place and a very special conference.
Coach, we certainly appreciate your time. I know you have to go back to work. You've got at Kentucky, then Arkansas, and then conference with Alabama, Vandy, and then that Egg Bowl. And just tell the listeners, let's finish with that. How is that Egg Bowl, that Ole Miss Mississippi State game at the end of the year this year, going to be Saturday, November 29th?
I tell you what, it's a special game. And, even being from up in New Jersey, you can't appreciate the intensity of that game. It may not get the recognition of an Alabama Auburn or an old. I know they don't do it anymore, which breaks my heart. But the Texas A&M,
right?
USC, UCLA. It's right up there with that intensity of those traditional games. It just hasn't had it doesn't get the recognition of those, and it will this year. But I mean, that is truly a game. You win that game, you have bragging rights in the state for a year. You don't, and you're walking around, very sad for a year.
Absolutely, and
it's the one game on the schedule. I'll give you an idea how important it is. The one game on the schedule every year, the president of our university, Dr. Mark Keenum, he'll come over to the football building, and he'll point at that one. And right now, that Egg Bowl trophy resides in our building, and he'll tell them every year, Coach, you better not lose my trophy.
I like that. I like that. That's real.
Yeah.
And
his trophy, even though
right.
he didn't take a snap.
He's not drawing up any plays. He's not making any drills up. That's his trophy. And,
I give you an idea how important that game is when the president of the university, he doesn't talk about any other league games. Yeah, they're all important. He wants to win those too, but I'll tell you, that's the only game he talks about. And that tells you about the commitment to football at Mississippi State when the president is doing that. The commitment that the athletic director and the president and the people have. And that's part of the reason that Coach Mullen's been able to have success at Mississippi State.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of success.
Yes, we do, Coach.
Along with him.
First
Scott,
time ever.
Yeah, and we will be following. How can people follow you on Twitter? And, of course, adhere to all NCAA rules. Don't do anything when you're not supposed to. And you've been doing this double-digit years, so you understand that. But how can people follow you and know more about the Mississippi State program?
My Twitter handle is at Coach Sallach, SALLACH. And obviously that would be the easiest way to get it done, or it's much easier just to look up my email address on the website. If I'm not mistaken, it's hailstate.com. If somebody wants to shoot me an email, we're always, like any program, we're always looking for the next good one.
Well, we have a few in Texas, and they all can't play at A&M and UT and UTSA and different places around the state. So, don't forget about us if you need a couple players here and there.
I enjoyed my time when I was at the old Nassau, going to, as I used to joke around, call it the country of Texas, to go look for prospects. It was a fun place to go just because in the state of Texas, like in the Southeastern Conference, football's pretty important.
Absolutely, it is, Coach. And we certainly appreciate you taking time out of your day. We know that you have another half of the season to go, and then beyond. Always a pleasure to have folks that doing well and successful take a part and have a little bit of insight for the listeners. So we appreciate you. Have a great day. Tell the family and also your football family that we appreciate the time and the excellence that they've done in this 2014 season, and best of luck with the rest of your games.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the opportunity to come talk some ball with you, and hopefully we can keep it going here in the second half.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Absolutely.
Best wishes, Coach.
Yeah, best wishes, Coach, and thanks again. And we'll talk offline a little bit. I know you're busy during the season, but we appreciate your time.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a break and come back with our Cowboys insider, Judd Garrett, and see how the conversation with he and his brother and the rest of the players and staff is going up in Valley Ranch right here when we come back on Laying Down the Law.